we're barreling right through this. I mean, we're halfway through the second day here at the 2018 BVarsity Live Coaches Show. I am your host, Trevor Horn, with Teddy Feinberg. The show is brought to you by Motor City Buick GMC. We appreciate their sponsorship. We are now joined by Derrick Dunham, the head coach at West High. Already year 3. I mean, it flies by. It flies by.
Year 3, 22 overall. So it's just, being the head guy in charge is a little bit different. But, 22 years overall. Yeah.
I just want to say, so I read every story in our season preview that's coming out on Thursday. That's called a tease. But you had the best quote by far. You were talking about blue-collar team, workman-like team. You said some schools eat steak for dinner. We eat mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
Yeah, that was classic.
Teddy, you would call that what?
I would call that definitely scrap out.
Yes, you would.
I would just say that was a great. I literally read it again last night, and I came out and I told a couple copy editors. By far the best quote we have in that.
And I got to be honest, I borrowed that from Coach Mike Gregg. He used to coach at Foothill.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was just, I don't know, he said that one day 5-10 years ago, whenever it was. I said that fits us.
Full disclosure, I'm playing off that playbook. I'm using that in the future too. Yeah. Just so
it is, and it's just the way it is. The nature of what our kids deal with at home, and I like mac and cheese though.
I know. Well, everyone's response was, "We love mac and cheese."
I love mac and cheese.
Yeah. So.
It's just a little bit different. Yeah.
There's a mac and cheese restaurant in Oakland, and it's called Homeroom, and it is like it's every iteration of what you could think of that you'd want to eat, like gourmet mac and cheese.
Okay.
It makes you wonder why no one's done that. No one else has done that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a genius idea.
I mean, all you gotta do is get some good noodles, boil them right, throw some fresh cheese on it, use some good milk.
There's nothing like Kraft mac and cheese out of the box.
Well, like I said, Coach, it resonated with like 5.
Where did this come from? Oh yeah, it's your fault.
Well, the mentality of us and who we are. Yeah. It's just who we are, and we take pride in it.
Well, I guess talk about that. What's the deal? What do you?
Well, we just take pride in that fact. We're just, our social demographics are different. Middle of town, we're kind of landlocked with our boundaries, and we're the one school. Yeah, one school that shares the most boundaries. So. Kids move in and out. It's a lot of apartments, condos, single family homes.
Got to make it work.
Yeah, make it work with the kids you got and what you're doing. And so like we do Weenie Wednesdays and stuff, and they like a good hot dog. So it's things like that they appreciate, and they really appreciate it. And I think if I showed up with steak, I don't know what they would do. So we'd find out. Yeah,
I got you.
Well, you talk about being landlocked, and you have single family homes and apartments, and here's the thing is that we're in this world of transfer, and if something goes wrong, I've always said that the transfer rule that's in place right now hinders the middle class and really is easier on those that are on the lower end of the middle class or have the availability to have a second home or an address, because moving is a lot easier when you're renting rather than when you have a mortgage.
Sure. And as players, come and go, whether it be West High or whatever high school, we were fortunate. We've had 3 that come into our program this year because of the housing situation that we have around West High, that one transferred in from Ridgeview, one from Wasco, and one from LA. So it's just in the nature of Bakersfield and the housing and the economic setup. So we're fortunate in that respect. In other respects, we'll lose kids, families move to different neighborhoods, stuff like that. So
I mean, it
is what it is. And we're used to it. We're really used to it.
It's your unique set of circumstances. Everyone's got them, right?
Yeah, everybody's got them. Foothill, Miramonte, Golden Valley, share some of that Ridgeview, share some of that. So it's unique in that respect.
What I love about West High football is that you never know just how good they're going to be, because you never know who's going to come out on the team.
It's last year we had 2 kids that had played 4 years of football. One was our quarterback, Gabriel Cecido. 4 years solid football. This year we're going to have about 14 kids that played 4 years of football. But we're going to have about 30 kids that on and off in 4 years played, whether they moved away, came back, hurt, or ineligible, whatever it is. So we're going to have a nucleus that's been there. It's just not consistent. And we're also a school that didn't have a feeder program per se. So we're learning football from the beginning, and we feel like in a couple of years in the weight room, and they were learning the system, that by their senior year, we've learned the competitive nature of what we're trying to do.
Again, LJ comes back for you after you lose Dante to a graduation. I mean, they were such a great 2-headed monster for you with Gabe at quarterback. How do you replace Gabe? How do you replace Dante? What does LJ bring to the table as a leader for you on the offensive side of the ball?
As far as LJ, Leowana Laule,
yeah,
we're going to practice that one. I know everybody...
are we not allowed to say LJ anymore?
No, it's just a matter. I just remember folks would call or something like that, and I would try to pronounce it, and I had to learn myself.
You did a standout job right there.
Thank you. I've been practicing.
Forget the junior.
And more and more kids that are more and more colleges that are calling or showing up, trying to be, a little more forthright with that. But even his dad, like, hey, just call him LJ. But yeah, obviously LJ, played guard his freshman year for Coach Bustamante, and then last year Coach Parks, our offensive coordinator, said, hey, this guy's got a skill set that we could use in our system. So obviously with the flex bone, the triple option that we do, I got him coming back. Now we look like we'll probably have to play him a little bit on defense this year too. We don't like to have a lot of two-way guys, but LJ's, an extra special guy.
Okay.
But the system's our system, so we'd like to say we plug in the next guy or next man up. We won't have a physical present type guy like a Dante Mason. He played for us for 1 year, and obviously he was another guy that just kind of didn't play 4 years in a row, but that 1 year that he helped us, we'll be more systematic with the guys that we have. So we don't really look to say, hey, we've got a game changer type guy. We just got to be more efficient with the guys that we do have.
Talk about the non-league schedule and how that sets you up for, SYL that kind of improves quite a bit now that you have Bakersfield Christian moving in.
Well, we had, a couple of years ago when they, late summer, whenever it was, and the principal called me and said, hey, could you do this for us? Sure. Or I said, well, our schedule, those things that we have to look at and be a little smarter about. It didn't make much sense for us to place in Division I teams, and it's just a little offset. We had some years where we could do those things, but this year it's kind of balanced out a little bit more in our preseason. But we're still playing North, South, and East, and Mission Oak next week coming down. We've never played them before, and obviously you got to go into the league with Bakersfield Christian and Ridgeview. So, if it's more our level, Division II, Division III type schools, obviously Ridgeview being a Division I program in our league, doesn't really equate so much,
Sure.
Per se. But there's really no reason for us to go ask Coach Nixon to play Liberty or something like that. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. They'd like to see like an even playing field. And then at the end of the day, you got to play Division III when you get to the playoffs if you're fortunate enough. So I know Coach Cantz before me, he liked a lot of Division II. Coach Cornford before that liked 1 and 2, but we had some horses back then. So
Ryan Matthews.
He was a horse there too. Yeah, so we rode that horse. But it's just it's all competitive across the board, and never been. I think we played Bakersfield Christian back when Coach Perucci was the coach a couple times, but looking forward to it.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to you guys as always. I really do appreciate West Side football. I think it's always fun.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and I appreciate you as a head coach, and thank you for coming down. This time goes by so quickly.
It does.
But thank you for taking a few minutes out of your day.
Appreciate
and good luck to you. I know the season is right around the corner, and it's early August, and it's weird.
It is very weird.
Yeah.
Very weird. Competitive. Across the board, and we appreciate everything you guys do to, promote high school football.
It's our pleasure, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Derrick Dunham, head coach of West High. The Vikings looking for another big year. Coming up next, Casey Quinn, second-year head coach over at McFarland. We're going to hear what the Cougars got in store for us right after this.